Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to TLU Showcase featuring our Student Life and Learning team. My name is Sarah Story, and I'm the Vice President for Admissions, Marketing, and Communications here at TLU. We're really excited that you're here with us tonight. This panel is part of our TLU Showcase panel. In previous panels over the past couple of months, we've highlighted current students and professors, and those were recorded and available on YouTube if you missed them and you want to see them. But tonight, we are very excited to introduce you to our Student Life and Learning team. Student Life and Learning at TLU focuses on student success and the student experience for all 4 years that you're at TLU. They cover a lot of areas, including student activities and organizations, academic advising, academic support, first-year programs, residence life, health services, disability services, mental health counseling, career development, campus ministry, and our Center for Servant Leadership. We know that hearing from this team is a very important part of you preparing for transitioning to college life in the fall, and we hope that you'll leave the session with a better idea of what you can expect from your first year student experience at TLU. But before we get started with introducing our panelists, I want to let you know about our plans for the fall, because I know you're all very curious about what that's going to look like for you when you guys arrive in August. Currently, we're expecting to have approximately 90% of our classes face-to-face. We're also planning on double occupancy rooms, so you can expect to have a roommate. We're also planning student activities and events, so we're hoping that campus will feel a little bit more back to normal conditions that students are used to. Our COVID leadership team, I'm a member of that team, and Kyle Witch, who you're about to meet, he's a member of that team as well. We're reviewing guidelines and policies all this week and next week regarding social distancing, mask wearing, and vaccines. And we will be sharing that guidance with the entire campus community, faculty, staff, students, and incoming students by mid-May. So check your email. We will be sending you email communications about plans for fall, and it will all be posted on our website too. So again, our goal is to deliver a more traditional residential campus experience, but with all these safety precautions and procedures that we've had in place over the past year. And those procedures have allowed us to stay open all year and have about 40% of our classes still face-to-face on campus. But I'd like to get started with our awesome panelists here that are joining us tonight to share more information about student life here at TLU. So we're gonna go around the squares here and have everyone introduce themselves to you, say who they are, what they do, and a little bit about their areas and responsibilities. And we're gonna start with our Associate Dean, Student Life and Learning, Malika Harvey Pitts. Malika Harvey. I'm sorry, Malika.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Malika Pitts Harvey, and I serve as one of the associate deans here at Texas Lutheran. And I have the pleasure of working very closely with academic advising, academic support, and first year in campus programs.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kyle Witch. I'm another associate dean here on campus, and I work with residence life, student activities, health services, counseling, ADA, foods, and food service. So those are some of the areas that I can answer questions tonight if you have them.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Anderson. I'm the staff academic advisor. I'm your point person as you're completing that new student registration form. And that new student registration form, or NSRF, is your first step in getting your fall class schedule. So you'll find your information about that and the link to complete that form once you log into my.tlu.edu on your admissions page. And there is where you'll also find the deadline for submitting your NSRF. So we build 3 times over the course of the summer. So depending on when you submit your NSRF, dictates then when you see that fall class schedule. And then once you submit it, you'll get a confirmation from us. And then during a specific day, our team of faculty members will then take the information that you included on that form, in addition to other admissions materials and information from our different departments and what is best for each major, as well as information from our coaches and directors from different ensembles about how we can best build and support our students in their first semester. And then once you get that fall class schedule, you are more than welcome, and we highly encourage you to reach out to us at advising@tlu.edu. If you have any questions about your schedule, if you want any clarifications on it, or if you think there needs to be any adjustments. So please feel free to reach out to us at advising@tlu.edu, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Tim Westmoreland and I'm the Director of Residence Life here at TLU. My primary role for you guys is working with your housing assignments, housing applications, and just kind of getting you through your first year on campus. If you haven't applied, whenever you have access to the portal page, you'll just click on the admissions tab on the top and fill out that housing application. And if you have applied and you're looking to make some changes, I just ask that you email reslife@tlu.edu. And the most important thing I just need you guys to remember is that we know you guys are gonna have a lot of very specific questions over these next handful of months, and we're totally ready for that. So at any point, if those questions pop up, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at any time. I look forward to speaking to you guys tonight. I can only assume we're gonna have some very specific questions on housing, and I'm gonna do my absolute best to answer them. So thank you.
And finally, guys, hello, good evening. My name is Samira Lopez, but everybody on campus calls me Sam, and I am the director of the Office of First Year in Campus Program. So I oversee the first year experience and teaming up a peer mentor student leader with your freshman experience course, what we call Frex 134. I welcome you at Bulldog Orientation, which we'll talk about how we're opening up on August 20th through the 22nd in person. And then our office also oversees all of the special populations at our campus. So our transfer and commuter programs, our first generation program, our veteran independent lounge that we oversee in the ASC, and then all of our family programming and publication pieces, once you become students, comes through our office as well. So we do a little bit of everything, and we work with everyone across campus. So I'm also excited to talk to everyone and to engage in conversation, or just to answer any question. No question is dumb, because we know this process can be really stressful, and that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you, especially virtually. Like, it could be really hard. So please ask us anything.
Thank you, Sam. And I want to reiterate that the time we're spending with you all tonight is really to have a conversation with you guys and to make sure that we're available to answer all your questions, because like Sam says, it's overwhelming. There's so many different things that you have to do to work through that process. And we want to make sure that it's stress-free for the parents, students, for everyone. So we did ask you all to submit some questions when you registered for this event. So we're going to start with those questions. But while we're going through those questions, please add your questions into the chat. This is, let's get the most of this event and use everyone's time and take advantage of having all of these really smart, wonderful people here with us to answer these questions. So the first question that we had that was submitted was really a Res Life question. So we're going to direct that to Tim. And the question is, can you describe the freshman residence halls and which ones seem to be a favorite among the students?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it really kind of depends on who you are as a person and on what you are looking for whenever you're living on campus. Centennial Hall is our newest residence hall, especially for freshmen. Some of the things that the students really enjoy about that one is it's right above some of the classrooms on the first floor. So if you like rolling out of bed 2 minutes before your class starts, that's an awesome idea and an awesome place for you to live. Also, it's community bath, and so that is actually cleaned by our custodial staff. So it's an area you don't have to worry about every time you go in there. It'll already be cleaned up for you. And it also has just a lot of the newest items that we have on campus. It has a really large game room, a ton of study rooms throughout the halls. And students just really enjoy its location, especially next to some of the fields. If you use the Weston Center or the soccer field, its location is pretty great as well. South Halls, which is comprised of Baldish, Trinity, and Clifton. It's one of our older halls, but it's one of the older styles. So you have two people in a room and they're going to share a bathroom with another two people on the other side. So it's a different bathroom setup. Their lobbies are a lot more centralized. So if you really like to engage in the community, really can't walk to your room without going through the lobbies first. And so it's a really good place to meet some people, hang out, do some studying time, as well as it's primarily smack dab in the middle of the campus. So you can get almost anywhere in a couple-minute walk. So it really just kind of depends on what you're looking for. All that information is online, as well as some breakdowns of the layouts of the rooms as well, if you want to kind of see what's encompassed in those. And then on our portal page, we're going to start uploading some information that includes more photos, what we have in there, what you can expect from your RAs, and we treat them all the same. It just really kind of depends, like I said, on how you want to roll out of bed every morning, essentially.
Thanks, Tim. Sam, the next question is for you. How can I get involved as a freshman?
Yeah, so as a TLU student, especially as a freshman, your first week, well, the first 2 weeks is going to be weeks of welcome. And so we're going to have events going on. I hope we can go back to some sort of normal, right, with our events, but events going on for 2 weeks straight. Part of that is going to be an involvement fair that Student Activities actually hosts, where you're able to meet all the organizations and departments on campus that are tied to an organization, and become a member of, or if you're interested in something. Other things to get involved in is, our office also hosts a lot of, if you're a commuter student, a lot of, socials for you to come and have a meal. Once a month, I feed you breakfast and lunch for free if you're a commuter or a transfer. Our first generation program, half of our student body currently right now is first gen. And right now our program is very active, and it starts your freshman year and you track it. We have a really cool virtual platform where you can see all events hosted throughout the weeks and throughout the months, and your first gen path is also on there, where you're working your way towards a graduation stool after your 4 years. And so there is always something happening, and we've also been very creative in having virtual game shows or virtual movie nights, or just keeping everyone safe. So I definitely encourage you to get involved next fall. But yeah, I hope that helps.
All right, thanks, Sam. Jessica, I know this is a question that you get a lot. What if I need to make a change to my class schedule?
Excellent. Yes, this is a frequent question from students, and it's just emailing advising@tlu.edu. So when you do that, either Malika or myself will then follow up with you to learn more about that adjustment. Sometimes it's AP scores come in and you got a higher grade than you anticipated, and so we need to take off a class that you already have credit for and look for another alternative. And so really just emailing us at advising@tlu.edu is the first step, and then we'll guide you through the process, and it's very seamless. So just make sure to bring those questions to us, and we can get you set up so that you have a good first semester.
Thank you. All right, Kyle, what COVID precautions will be in place in the residence halls, dining areas, and classrooms?
Great question. So as Sarah mentioned, she and I both serve on the COVID team, and we have been meeting every week since March of last year. And so we do a lot of COVID conversations, but in the last 3 weeks, we have been broken up into smaller groups to kind of look at what does summer look like, what does fall look like. And so we are putting together our final recommendations, and those are to be sent to the president this week, Friday. And then the president and the cabinet will look at everything next week. And then we will be rolling out recommendations in the middle of May. Keep in mind that things could change. We don't exactly know what's going on with the virus through the summer and whatnot, but I think you'll see that we have we've taken everything into account, or as best we can, to figure out what does it look like in the resident hall, what does it look like in the dining hall. This year, we made a lot of changes, and most of the students, faculty, and staff were appreciative of what we did in terms of mask wearing and social distancing, and in the food service area. So I think when those recommendations come out in May, you'll have a good sense of what it's going to be like this fall.
Tim, another Res Life question for you. This student is asking that they live close to Seguin and want to live at home. What are the requirements to live off campus? And do I have to be approved to live off campus?
Absolutely. Well, yes, you do need to be approved. It's a fairly simple process. And so what you'll do is when you go to our portal page, when you go to the Res Life portal page on the right-hand side, it'll say something called exemption from on-campus request form. And what you'll do is you'll fill out that form and submit that, and I will review that and let you know your determination. There's essentially 4 exemption requirements or exemption criteria. And if you meet any one of these 4, you'll be automatically approved. And so the first one is if you're 21 years or older by the first day of classes, if you're married, you lived on a college or university campus for a minimum of 4 semesters, or you're commuting within a 30-mile radius from your parent or your legal guardian's house, you'll be automatically approved. And so when you fill out that form, it'll ask you for the documentation that's needed for that. It'll get submitted, I'll review it, and then we'll respond to you via email and let you know. Once you're approved, you should be good to go for the semester, and that should be it. If there is other criteria that you feel that needs to be looked at, there is an option for another. That'll be a little more detailed process that you'll have a conversation with me, and we'll kind of look at your situation. But those are the 4 criteria where if you meet any one of those 4, it's an automatic approval, but we do need you to get that submitted. Otherwise, we're going to be tracking you down to kind of see what's going on. But other than that, all of that's going to be listed on our portal page as well, and it will completely walk you through from start to finish whenever you fill out that application. And of course, and if there's anything that's just kind of on the line and you're not quite sure about, you can always reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you out.
All right, Tim, another question for you. And this one is, when will we know for sure which dorm our student was placed in? Also, when will we be able to see the rooms and know what is needed to purchase?
Awesome. So we are going to be posting assignments after the July 4th holiday. And those are going to be placed on the Res Life portal page as well. So whenever we get to that time, you'll go to the portal page, scroll down to the very bottom right, and it'll say My Residence Information. You'll click on that link, and it'll include where you're going to be staying, what building, what room number, and it is your roommate's information, their contact email, so you can reach out to them as well. So that's all going to come after the July 4th weekend. So just keep an eye on the portal then. As for when you'll be able to see the rooms, it's really going to kind of be determined by what the president pushes out mid-May, as Sarah and Kyle had talked about. By that time, we should have a good idea of what we're coming up to, and we can start working on potentially getting people to be able to see what the room looks like on the inside. In the meantime, since I know you guys are probably pretty anxious to see what you're working with, we are currently working with marketing as well as updating our portal page to include things like the move-in guide and the housing guide. And it has a nice walkthrough of what it looks like in each dorm, what the rooms look like, the measurements, everything you need to bring. And it gives you a pretty good walkthrough from start to finish of what it's like living on campus, what you need to be successful on campus, what you need for the rooms, what you can and can't bring. All of that information is going to be posted. I know it's not as good as the real thing. You want to be able to get inside and touch everything and measure everything, and I totally understand that. So once we have that information out, especially when the housing assignments are posted, we'll be able to start working with you guys if we're able to get you inside to see the rooms.
Great. Kyle, a question about how do I request ADA accommodations?
Okay, so a little bit about ADA at the college level. So most of you, or all of you that are coming from the high school level, the K-12 system is really set up where your parent is your advocate, and your parent is talking to the school district and figuring out what the accommodations are. At college, it becomes you, the student. You become your own advocate. Your parents can certainly have conversations, but it's you, the student, is who we have to talk to, and you're the one that has to submit documentation. You're the one that has to take the the results of the conversations to the faculty and have them sign pieces of paper so the faculty know what to expect. So with that, you just need to go to the portal page and log in, and then you're going to click the Student Life tab that's at the top, and then on the left-hand side is Disability Services. And that's where you would fill out the application and upload any documentation that you would need to support your application. And then the sooner you can do that, the better, because then Dr. Moriarty, who's our counselor ADA coordinator, can talk to you over the summer and get things squared away. Not that you can't turn stuff in August, but you'll find out that August is a very busy time on campus, and we're all getting ready for all of you to come to campus. And so the sooner you can turn information in, the better it is, and then you can have conversations.
All right. This is the last submitted questions, and then we're going to go to the chat questions. But from the submitted ones, this is for Jessica. What support is available for students who are undecided about their major?
Yes, and that's totally normal. So many students are still in that exploratory phase. So if you're a student who you're not 100% sure about your major, we have a really great program called Pathway Pursuit. I'm being a little biased in saying that it's great because I help facilitate it. But Pathway Pursuit is a program that's intentionally built to support our exploratory students. So whether you are decided in your major and you're exploring your careers, or you're not sure of a major and you want support, determining what academic program best fits you, this is a program that can support you as well. And what happens in this program is that we have monthly workshops where you can connect with peers who are in the same place so that you know that you are not alone in this process. You're not alone in that boat, and still kind of having that discernment process about what path is the right fit. But then there's also some specific tasks connected to career development, connected to academic advising, and to civic engagement that give you experiences and that help guide you in that reflection on what is the best fit. So some of it's like taking assessments and, self-assessments to understand your interests and your personality. We have a My Majors assessment that helps match you to your top 10 majors, specifically here at TLU. And then we help you get connected out in the community and get some of those tangible hands-on experiences about whether or not a career is a good fit for you, and help you network with people who are in that field already. And like Sam was talking about with the first gen path, this Pathway Pursuit path is also built in that same online environment so that you can go online and you can track your involvement and look at all the different options and opportunities that are available to you to help you in exploring the world of academics and the world of work as well. So there's lots of great support systems here. We have peer leaders that are specifically connected to that program as well. So you have student leaders who are walking with you through that semester-long experience. And so I really hope, if you are interested in Pathway Pursuit, if you'll email pathways@tlu.edu. I also monitor that email account as well, and I can get you connected. We also have a form located once you get your class schedule and you have access to our academic advising page on the Student Life tab. There's also an interest form located there, as well as a whole page dedicated to Pathway Pursuit. So you can see and learn a little bit more about the program there. So just know, I think more than anything, I want you to know, if you're still in that space of exploring, that's normal and that's okay. And we're here to support you and guide you on that journey and helping you find a good path.
Thanks, Jessica. Now I see some questions coming in from the chat, so thank you guys. And let's go to those live questions coming in. And I think the first one really is about first year experience and first year programs. So I'm thinking, Sam, I'm going to start with you to answer this, but the question is, I am coming from an early college high school, so I guess I will technically be a junior. What is that going to look like? I'm still going to need freshman resources. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, yes. regardless if you are coming in as a transfer student or a first-time student, you're going to go through our Bulldog orientation program. And so we will make sure that you transition and you get all the resources you need and get acclimated to all of our virtual platforms, all of our, you'll get an opportunity to meet advisors at orientation weekend and student leaders. So we will make sure to guide you. So any incoming student, regardless of first year or transfer or nursing or grad student, goes through a period of orientation. So we won't let you go. And also too, when it comes to, I think that was it, right? Resources. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
And the coming in, even though it's early college, high school, you're still considered a first year student, and because you have not matriculated to another college. So just to be clear on that. Malika, do you want to say anything else about that? No? Okay. Okay, here's a great question. Dorm life sounds fantastic. I love to hear that. That's cool. However, what kind of security is in place for our students' safety? Tim?
Absolutely. First and foremost, Residence Life has a great relationship with TLU Campus Police. Full-on police. I know some universities have, campus security or campus cops. Our police are the real deal, and so we work really closely with them. They're constantly patrolling our campus. It's a really great working partnership. On top of that, we have a couple things in place. First of all, to get into your building, you need to have a TLU ID, and it needs to be coded for that building specifically. So that's how you're going to be able to even get into the building itself, much less your key to get into your room on top of that. We also have the Res Life staff who monitors the building. We have people who are on call, who are doing rounds, who are checking on everything. Usually it's quite busy in the very beginning. We're trying to figure out who is who and where do they live. And so a lot of you are going to get stopped anyway, because the RAs are going to be trying to figure out who you are and what you need to succeed and how we can make this first year fun. And then after that, we get pretty good at realizing who needs to be where and whether or not they should or shouldn't be there. We don't really have too many incidents on campus, mainly because we also have a lot of policing from the residents. It's your environment, your home, your neighborhood, and you guys will get very protective over that. And it's something that we do appreciate. So we have a ton of people on campus all the time. Pro staff also live on campus. So the area coordinators, we have them that live in specific areas on campus because they are on call 24/7, also keeping an eye on the buildings. So we're very attentive, very aware, always watching, keeping an eye on everything to make sure that everyone is safe. And then anytime, if you ever feel uncomfortable, we just ask that you reach out to us and we deal with it discreetly, confidentially. And then if we have to push it up based on what the issue is, we let you know and we walk you through that as well. But again, everyone's just kind of involved in this from the ground floor. We love TLU. We have a great relationship with the community, and we take care of our home. So if you're ever concerned about anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out with us, and we'll let you know what we can do.
Thanks, Tim.
Sarah, I want to add one other thing. One of the other neat things that we have on campus is through our police department. If you're studying late in the library, or maybe you're an athlete and you've been at a competition in Colorado, and you're coming back and the bus gets in at 2 a.m. and you don't want to walk across campus, you can call campus police and they will they'll do an escort. It doesn't have to be in the vehicle. They have golf carts that you can ride on, or they'll walk you across campus. So there are options. Just reach out, call the information center, and they will get a hold of the police department and help in that way. And then the other thing I would say is we do have a network of security cameras, particularly at the entrances and exits of all of the resident halls, as well as some parking lots and around campus and in various spots. So we do look at those when there's an incident, but I'm certainly not sitting in my office or anyone else sitting in the office watching all of the cameras all the time. But when something is brought to our attention, we will pull up the footage and see what we can figure out. Thank you.
Thanks. There's a question about, is mytlu.edu and the portal different? And I just want to address this real quick, and then if you guys want to add anything, but they're the same thing. My TLU is the portal. The portal is My TLU. In admissions, our whole goal is to get you through the enrollment process. So we will send you emails about your student status page. So your student status page is going to have an enrollment checklist. It's going to have a financial aid checklist. We're constantly trying to help you work through that process and see, okay, what have I completed? What do I still need to complete? Some of those checklist items are going to send you to My TLU, to the portal, because there's a lot of things that you need to do just on My TLU as an incoming student, like the NSRF, like housing. So we want to get you used to My TLU, because once you get here, everything you do is going to be through My TLU. And I know that you guys in your paw print modules and everything, you talk a lot about My TLU. So Sam, Jessica, Malika, do y'all want to add anything to that?
No, that's perfect. I know we tend to call it the portal. So once you become a student, that's a lingo term. Go to your portal, go to your portal. So it's the same thing, My TLU and the portal.
Okay.
And I think, I was just going to say, Sarah, I think that those are one of the plus sides about orientation, is that Sam and the peer mentors who also serve as the orientation leaders can get you a little bit more acclimated to what the portal has to offer. I know that through this process, you're using it primarily to prepare for through the application process and complete again the NSRF. But what's going to be really exciting about orientation is that you'll know about all the cool features that are available on that page, because a lot of our instructors do use the portal for course information and, again, important dates throughout each semester. So it's one of those things that you just don't use during the application process. You're actually going to use it throughout your entire time at TLU.
Exactly. And we do have some students, admitted students and deposited students who, if you need your credentials, you haven't logged in a while and you can't find them, or you need to reset your password, reach out to your admissions rep, and your admissions rep will help you and can reset those credentials. So do not worry about that. You are not the only person asking about that.
I also wanted to share that your parents have the availability of getting a parent portal as well on My TLU that gives them resources. So when you come back to Bulldog Basics, we talk about that a little bit and setting that up for your parents and our orientation. So that's an option as well for your family.
That's a really good, thanks Sam for adding that. For Tim, and you've touched on this, but let's go over it again for everyone. How quickly will we find out our roommate after our housing application?
Yeah, so like I said, whenever all the applications are coming in, we're currently collecting them now. The goal is to have, they will be posted after the July 4th holiday. And like I said, that'll be on the portal page. Whenever you scroll down to the very bottom, mytlu.edu, you go to the Res Life portal page, you scroll down to the very bottom and it'll say My Residence Information. You'll click on that and it'll show your room, your building, your room, and your roommate's information. What we do say is that your roommate, whoever you're requesting, they also need to be doing the exact same thing you are, which means they need to be registered, they need to do the NSR, they need to do everything they need to do with admissions. Then they get to us, fill out the housing application. So if they've done everything correctly and have also requested you, you should see their information there. We do our absolute best to make sure we can match it based on all of your requests. Again, it really just kind of depends on when these applications come in, the feasibility of the requests and everything else. We're generally pretty good about it as long as everyone has filled out all their steps. So after the July 4th holiday, you should see it all there, especially if you've had your application submitted before then. You should see all that posted along with your roommate's information, or at least their name and their TLU email, so you can contact them and reach out.
Okay, thanks, Tim. Kyle, there's a question about vaccines. For the COVID protocols, will we need to have our vaccine, or is it too early to know about that for sure? So
it is, we're a couple weeks too early to kind of know what for sure the group has come up with that's working on the vaccine. But one of the small groups that I mentioned earlier, they are dealing with the vaccine and what does that look like, and do we require it, do we not? Knowing that the governor has put out an executive order that institutions of higher education cannot mandate everyone have the vaccine. So we're looking at some different ways of how do we get that information out to students once we've made a final determination on what we're going to do. So mid-May, and then if you have any questions, certainly you can reach out to me or anyone on the COVID team, and we can get some further clarification for you.
We have a couple questions. I'm going to wait and see if any more come in. But one question about orientation. Sam, do you want to talk a little bit more about what is covered? What does orientation look like and what's covered at orientation?
Yeah, so orientation will be on August the 20th through the 22nd. So after you move in and go through the move-in process and officially go into your room, we'll start our parent sessions that Friday afternoon. So it's going to look a little different than it has in the past. So we're definitely taking into account all of the, you know, spreading out sessions and keeping everyone safe and mask on. We'll have a couple family sessions on Friday, then Saturday, you'll officially go through matriculation ceremony with our president, get your class blessing from our pastor. You'll go through, you know, sessions where you'll learn, I'm blanking out, but you'll learn, you know, all of our virtual platforms. You'll get to meet an academic advisor and have time to set up meetings with them. So you'll go through a lot of fun things. And we also have fun evening things planned for everyone, virtual game shows. And then Sunday is the most important day. You'll actually have your official first day of class if you are taking FREX 134 and are a first year student. And you'll also have your first paw print, which is your reflective module that you have to take that's tied to your freshman experience course. So that will be your official first day. You get to meet your professor in person on Sunday. So we're, again, it's not going to look like it has in the past, but we're hoping to have most of that like face-to-face time with you in the classroom at a safe distance. So we're excited to bring you back that weekend. Be ready. Friday through Sunday, 8 to 5. And if you're an athlete coming in, we work with the coaches very closely so they know, especially my fall sports, they know to give you that weekend off so that you could focus on orientation and making sure you have everything you need before school starts on that Tuesday. So, but yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
I want to give everyone, let's see. Oh, we just got a question. All right. Do football players move in sooner than other students? Tim, do you want to?
Generally, yes. You know, I know they're working on a lot of stuff that they're going to start announcing, but what they will do is your football coach will reach out and give us the roster, and we'll start working with you on getting you acclimated and what you need to do to move in early. There is an entirely separate move-in process that we've done in the past for football because it's a pretty large group, so we can get them in and acclimated early. Kyle, if you know information I don't, feel free to chime in. But that's going to be the goal with that as well, is when we get to that, we have our directive from the president on what we're doing in fall, and we know about early arrivals and everything else. What you'll do is you'll give the coach will give us your information, who's on the roster, who's moving in on campus, and we'll work with you guys to get you acclimated and all that. Our RA staff will be here 2 weeks before school starts. We're already going to be here getting prepared and ready for you guys. So we'll be set for if football comes back early.
Great. All right. I want to give everyone this is kind of like last chance to submit your question in the chat. So while we're waiting for that, if there's any kind of last minute questions, I want to go around to our panelists and ask each one of you, what advice would you give to students to be prepared for their first year at TLU? If each one of you could give some advice, and I'm going to go around how I see all on my screen. So I'm going to start with Malika.
All right. I think the best way to prepare is to just relax. I think that there is so much that may be going on in your head. And I think there's also some of the fears that you're going to forget something. And I just want you all to relax and just know that this is going to be a fun and exciting time. We have learned so much through this pandemic on how we program and the different things that we do here at Texas Lutheran. So we are prepared. We are excited. We've spent a lot of time planning. We just need you to show up. And if there's something that you miss, we will help you. I love how my colleague friend Sam started the beginning by saying there's no such thing as a stupid question. We welcome any kind of questions, any kind of feedback. But most importantly, I just want you all to relax. I know many of you all are trying to wrap up your senior year. So I wish you nothing but the best as you embark on these final days and weeks. And I know for our viewers who are at the community colleges, I know you all are preparing to wrap up as well. So just relax. Make sure that you check your email. One thing that you will hear once you start classes at Texas Lutheran is that we're really big about checking email. So just start getting to a habit of checking your email at least once or twice a day so that you can stay abreast of all the information that you're receiving from your rep.
Thanks, Malika. Kyle, do you have advice?
So I think, one of the things that I would throw out to those of you that are coming to Texas Lutheran in the fall is just ask questions. We've mentioned it a couple of times, but asking questions, because we'll get to know you in different ways, whether we see you in the classroom because we're teaching a class, or we see you in the resident hall or on the athletic field, or in a play because you're in drama, or singing in the choir, whatever it might be. We're going to start to get to know you, but you have to ask the questions, because we can maybe see an inquisitive look on your face, but we don't know what you're thinking about. So just reach out, email. It never amazes me that when I get to the office in the morning, or when I first look at my email, there might be 6 or 8 emails from students, and it's at 11 o'clock at night, it's at midnight, it's at 2 in the morning, because that's when you guys are up, and that's when you're thinking about the questions. And so we'll get to those when we get into the offices, because I am not awake at midnight. But just ask the question, and then we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Or when you're on campus and you see us in the hallway or walk in between buildings, certainly ask questions then as well. But don't be afraid to ask. You are your advocate on this campus, and we will support you and help you once we know what might be going on or what questions you have.
Great. Thank you, Kyle. Jessica?
So I think my biggest piece of advice is to just start thinking about, what are you interested in? What are you curious about? What are you passionate about? And start thinking or reflecting on that now, so that when you get on campus and you get to go to that involvement fair, our Center for Servant Leadership also hosts like a volunteerism fair. So if you're really excited about serving the community, and there's ways to immediately get involved and get connected on campus and get connected in our larger community. So I would just encourage you to start thinking about those passions, those interests, those curiosities, so that you can start exploring them here at TLU and exploring this, what it means to be a young adult. And as you start to transition, to independent life. So I hope you'll start exploring your interests.
Thanks, Jessica. Sam?
My piece of advice is to bring your family along with you through this journey. Don't forget about them. Bring them to events. They're curious too what you're going through. If you're first gen, they're probably navigating these waters with you, like side by side. Or if you're the translator and your parents only speak, Spanish, bring them with you. Bring them. We will help them no matter what. We will translate. We will guide them, because they're part of this. They're supporting you either financially or mentally, giving you that that push. So they are an important part of our community as well. So bring your family through the whole journey. Don't just bring them at orientation. Bring them the whole 4 years to campus, and so they feel part of this community as well, because they're investing in this as well. But yeah, that's my piece of advice.
Good advice. Thanks, Sam. All right, Tim, wrap it up with the
Pleasure. I would just say, kind of going off of what Jessica talked about a little bit and just kind of push it a little bit further is yeah, you're just going into adulthood. So this is kind of all on you whenever you start getting into this stage. And I know whenever I speak to students, I'm not asking, so what does mom and dad say? I'm asking about you. What do you feel about this? What do you want to do about this situation? What do you want to learn? What do you want to get involved in? So kind of taking that adulthood and getting involved with it, figuring out what you want to do. How do you want to enjoy time on campus, especially if you're living here, you're here. You know, we don't want this just to be a place you sleep. We want this to be a place that you live, and getting involved with TLU. And that's really at least what I've seen with my students and my staff and just the students in general. It's just, that's what makes TLU great. It's a very close, tight-knit community because of the students and how active and involved they are. And like Kyle said, don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of freshmen, when they come in, are very hesitant. And, you know, now I got juniors who will just scream at me across the room just because they want to say hi, you know, and it just, you eventually get really invested with these people here, and it becomes your home. So figure out what that means to you. What do you want? And find a way to get involved on campus and bring that with you, because it is a great campus. We have definitely missed that in-person feeling over the last year. And I'll tell you, I can probably speak for most of the staff and faculty of, we are excited to see you in person. We want to see you in person. We want to build that community with you all. So figure out what that is and bring it to TLU. And I'm excited to figure out that along with you.
Thanks, Tim.
And if Sarah, if possible, if I could just add, for those of you all who are on tonight that are coming from community colleges, I still want to just remind you that each college is different. So please know that everything that we send out, we definitely want you to be a part of it. I think that there are some transitions, regardless if you're coming from a 2-year community college, or even you came from a 4-year public institution and now you're coming to a 4-year private. So making sure that you participate in all that we have to offer. And again, know that there's tons of resources available to you as well. One of the things that I will be talking about a little bit during the summer is the importance of that student services fee, right? So just knowing that when you pay your tuition and fees, that gives you access to all of our programs and activities on campus. So things to think about is, again, getting involved, but making sure that you take advantage of everything that we have to offer, because again, we want to make sure that you're set up for success.
Thank you, Malika. And as everyone said, the reason we're here is for you all. That is our job, is to help you through this process, answer your questions. So I know we've addressed all the questions tonight, but I know you have more. So reach out to your admissions rep, email admissions, email advising@TLU, email reslife@TLU. There's so many different ways to get a hold of us. If you're not sure how to get a hold of someone, go to your admissions rep, and your admissions rep will make sure that you're in touch with the right person. But I want to thank you all tonight. This has been a great conversation, and I want to hand it over to Malika, who has some really, really important information to share with you all, and have her wrap it up. And go, Malika.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, thank you all so much. It's so good to see all those that are online this evening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. I really, really, again, am looking forward to seeing so many of you all for the fall 2021 semester. But I also just want to let you know that even though tonight's session will be ending shortly, I want you to put 2 dates. I want to put 2 dates in the atmosphere. And the first one is July 9th and the second one is July 30th. So July 9th and July 30th is going to be our Bulldog Basics session. Bulldog Basics is really good because that is an opportunity for us to really have, again, some great conversations and answer questions as you all are preparing for the beginning of the fall 2021 semester. So I know the admission staff is working beyond measure to put together a great event where there's social distancing, and you still have the opportunity to take advantage of all the services on campus that day. But again, July 9th and July 30th, pick one of those days. You don't have to come to both, but pick one of those days. They're each on Fridays. Look at your schedules and come on back, because I know some of you have taken tours, but if you have not taken a tour, this will be your first time. Welcome. What I want to share on my end is that I want to make an intentional time. I think I was told, Malika, pick how much time you need. 60 minutes should be good for me. I want to take a moment for us to just have some really good conversations about, so what does this look like being a first-year student at TLU? We're going to answer questions about schedules. Why are you taking the classes that you're taking? As Sam made reference, we're going to talk a little bit about that freshman experience class. We're going to talk about that paw print reflective module. Listen, y'all, I'm a military wife, so I know about acronyms and all this other stuff. So I want to make sure everybody's on the same page about what they're doing, why they need to do it, and most importantly, how that's going to impact you having a great first semester at Texas Lutheran. So put that in your mental Rolodex, July 9th or July 30th, both on Fridays. Make sure you check your emails. Like I mentioned to y'all, get into a habit of checking your emails at least once or twice a day, because your admission rep will be sending you more information. But it's going to be a great event. Like I said, it's always fun for me and the staff because that's our opportunity to finally meet you all. And like Sam said, don't come by yourself, students, bring your families, because it's so good to also welcome them into the TLU family as well. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us, but we look forward to seeing you in July.
All right. Thank you all. Thanks everyone for a wonderful evening, and stay safe, stay well, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you all.